What happened to Don Lemon today should scare all of us. Like, this should not be something that we just talk about today and then forget tomorrow. No, you should be terrified and worried. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I wanted to let you guys know this video is being sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is an app where you can make money predicting current events. I put money on what the weather is going to be every day on Kalshi. I check the weather app when I wake up. And really all I do is I look at what the highest temperature is going to be for the day. Then I go on Kalshi and place a prediction on what I think the highest temperature is going to be for the day. I'll say probably 7 out of 10 times my weather prediction hits. Sometimes it doesn't hit. But if you want to get paid by predicting weather on a daily basis, you can do so on Kalshi by clicking the link in my description and downloading the app and using code FLACO to get $10 on your first deposit. Like most things with this administration, they just don't know how to chill. They're addicted to bad PR. They found a situation where everybody or most people were on their side, and they found a way to lose all the support within a heartbeat. Trump and his folks, for about 10 seconds, was on the right side of an issue. We were all in agreement, the majority of us, regardless of left or right, that the demonstrators who ran up in that church in Minnesota and disrupted service and got in people's faces and was hostile and threatened them and terrorized them, something needed to be done. A message needed to be sent. Those people needed to know that they can't do this in the house of worship.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit?
You can't give any level of support whatsoever to a fascist and a Nazi because they're going to use that support to abuse their authority. Trump, being the tyrant he is using this situation to go after journalists that he don't like, who's been critical of him. He's going after the free press and our First Amendment. So he arrested Don Lemon because Don Lemon was present, Don Lemon was recorded, but Don Lemon was a journalist. He was documenting everything, right? He was interviewing both sides.
Former CNN anchor and a former colleague of mine and friend, Don Lemon, has been taken into custody by federal agents, according to his attorney. It comes after Lemon covered the protest earlier this month, dozens of anti-ICE protesters rushing inside of a church in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, Don has said that he was just there as a journalist, photographing the incident as a journalist, asking questions as a journalist after the protesters went in, and has been very clear he was not part of the protest group. In a statement, Don Lemon's attorney says, quote, "This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court."
This can't be our new normal. We have an absolute racist sociopath who is enacting your revenge on any and everybody he feels like, and there's nothing in place to protect people. This can't be the new normal. Yo, journalists cannot be getting arrested for being a journalist. Y'all using the exact same footage that he captured for your investigation. Without him there is no investigation. This can't be the new normal. And on top of this just being unconstitutional, tyrannical, it's also just stupid, right? I would like to think, because I'm in America, bro, that it'll be impossible to find a jury of his peers who is brainwashed, who is psychotic enough to find Don Lemon guilty of violating the FACE Act for being a journalist. I would hope that task would be impossible. And because I think it'll be impossible to find a jury of his peers who will find him guilty, it's also very stupid because now you just made Don Lemon into an icon. You just made Don Lemon into what Jussie Smollett wanted to be. Don Lemon, so first off, Don Lemon's podcast is about to boom by like 1,000%. Don Lemon, his show is about to boom. Don Lemon is about to get endless opportunities. Don Lemon is about to be a national treasure and a national hero. You just made somebody who voice you wanted to silence into quite possibly the biggest voice in media right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Don Lemon's podcast surpassed Joe Rogan's this week. Now, I got a hold of this indictment, and the indictment itself is laughable, bro. These people is put in 20 on 10. First mistake in this indictment that's not going to withstand any type of like legal pressure or pushback. Like, understand, to get a grand jury indictment is probably the easiest things ever, because Don Lemon has no representation in the grand jury proceedings. So the government can come, put 20 on 10 and get an indictment like this. But in this regard, they list Don Lemon as a co-conspirator. This is not gonna like stand, bruh. And like, I guess I don't understand. Like, is Trump and his administration just this thirsty that they're willing to make Don Lemon, I guess, into like a national hero for what, like a perp walk? Like Trump just wanted to like get off on watching Don Lemon just get escorted to jail for 30 seconds before being released without bail. So they listed Don Lemon as a co-conspirator. As you see here, it says all defendants met at a shopping center for a pre-op briefing during which Armstrong and Allen advised other co-conspirators, including defendants Kelly and Don Lemon, Lundy, Cruz, Ford, et cetera, about the target of their operation, and provided instructions on how the operation would be conducted once they arrived at the church. Once at the church, all of the defendants entered the church to conduct a takeover-style attack and engage in various acts in furtherance of the conspiracy. But the reason why this won't withstand calling Don Lemon, I guess, a co-conspirator, was Don Lemon reiterated multiple times during that broadcast he was not a part of this group. He was simply there to be a journalist. He was there documenting it. I assume they let him know, hey, we're going here. And as a journalist and as a media person, he showed up to document what was going on. All right, Don Lemon's footage is very pivotal. Don Lemon did what his job was, which to document. Now, fam, y'all know my stance, bruh. Right, like Nakima, like whatever, and those other people, bruh, lock them up, get them out of here. But I can never co-sign locking up no media, bro. Like, bro, you're out of your mind. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Now, if we just scroll through this, we'll see like exactly what they're accusing Don Lemon of. Again, these people is putting like 20 on 10, bro. According to these people, because Don Lemon took steps to maintain operational secrecy, aka we're not gonna say on live stream where these people are going, we're just showing up to document it, is apparently enough to list him as a co-conspirator. So read this nonsense, okay? So on his Don Lemon show the morning of, he explained to his audience that he was in Minnesota with an organization that was gearing up for a resistance operation against the federal government. Now, according to them, Don Lemon, while on his live stream, he apparently told Armstrong, which was, I think, is like the Kima, he told Armstrong that he wouldn't be saying anything, and that she don't have nothing to worry about, that he won't be saying nothing or revealing any of their plans on the live stream. That right there makes him a co-conspirator. No, it makes him a journalist who was there documenting what was going on. This is just nonsense. Like, I don't see how Pam Bondi or Trump or anybody involved here could see how this is gonna like be a W for them. I just don't see how. Don Lemon's interview with the pastor, who is apparently like has a really high ranking position in ICE, that particular interview is apparently being used as well to label Don Lemon as, a part of this conspiracy. So Don Lemon and other defendants approached the pastor and largely surrounded him to his front and both sides, stood in close proximity to the pastor in an attempt to oppress and intimidate him, and physically obstructed his freedom of movement. Come on, bro. They added 20 on 10, bro. While Don Lemon peppered him with questions to promote the operations message. Like, sir, come on, bro. Now, apparently at some point in that an interview, which we all seen, Don Lemon told the pastor to please don't push him. Now, the feds are saying that because of this, this shows that Don Lemon was close enough, to assault the pastor, and him being close enough is assault, and they was terrorizing. And the indictment is struggling to articulate the crime the person did. That's usually a bad sign. Listen, I'm somebody who has had this exact same stance when it was the opposite, right? When Biden and them was pulling up and arresting journalists that was participating in J6, you know what I did? I called that out, right? Because that's wrong, right? The journalists that were there documenting and recording, they shouldn't have been arrested either, right? But the Biden administration targeted certain journalists that was critical of him, right? And he's a tyrant too. But just because Biden did it doesn't mean that Trump could do it, right? Trump doing it is also wrong. It's terrible. It's bad. Here is the particular interview with the pastor that they're claiming the pastor's life was in danger. They were obstructing him physically. He couldn't move. Was take a look for yourself. Does this appear to be a crime happening?
What do you think of this?
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship.
Yeah.
We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
What type of physical obstruction did y'all see? What type of kidnapping did y'all see? Did the pastor appear to be terrorized? Don Lemon was asking him questions. And again, when the pastor was done talking, he was able to freely walk away. But they put 20 on 10 to get the indictment on Don Lemon because Trump don't like how critical Don Lemon has been of him. Don Lemon wasn't the only journalist arrested. They also arrested a journalist called Georgia Ford. Now, Georgia Ford arrest to me is even like more egregious. Georgia Ford didn't say a word the entire time. Like, she had the camera in her hand and she was recording and she was documenting. She was not a part of the demonstration, the protest. She didn't get in. She was simply recording what was going on. And because of her holding the camera in her hand, you had the feds show up at her crib at about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning while her kids were upstairs, while her family was there, and they showed up threatening to run up in her crib and pull her out if she don't come outside while her kids are sleeping. Is this serious, yo? Is this serious, yo?
You guys, I wanted to alert the public that agents are at my door right now. They're saying that they were able to go before a grand jury sometime, I guess, in the last 24 hours, and that they have a warrant for my arrest. I've talked to my attorney, and I'm being advised to go with them, I guess, down to Whipple. And my children are here. They're impacted by this. This is all stemming from the fact that I filmed a protest as a member of the media. We are supposed to have our constitutional right of the freedom to film, to be a member of the press. I don't feel like I have my First Amendment right as a member of the press. Because now federal agents are at my door arresting me for filming the church protest a few weeks ago. Again, I don't have a long time here, you guys, but I wanted you to know, for me, agents are at my door right now. My attorney has spoken with them. I did send a relative outside to talk to them. They're showing some type of documentation, apparently, that they got an indictment from a grand jury. I knew that I was on a defendant's list. I did not publish it because it was under seal. And so we've done everything that we can to try and abide by, the advice of our attorneys.
If I would have told you a year ago we were living in Nazi Germany, you would have thought that was hyperbolic. It's not hyperbolic anymore, right? Like now we're realizing, right? Yo, we're literally living in 1942 Germany. This is what Nazi Germany felt like, bruh. It's no different. This is what it really felt like. If you had opinions, if you were covering anything that went against their propaganda machine, you're out of here. Sorry. Gots to go, bruh. Gots to go. If you looked a little Jewish, you had to show paperwork you weren't Jewish. This is Nazi Germany. This is what we're currently living. And the thing about this is, history is going to remember who was a part of the problem and who fought against the problem. So a lot of these people who are living behind like their digital footprint where they're in full support of this, they're in full support of tyranny. There was a point where MLK was arrested and there were people who were saying MLK deserved to get arrested because he was a troublemaker. The same individuals who were calling MLK a troublemaker when he was arrested, those are the same people who support nonsense like this. Again, there's a huge difference between the demonstrators that were there, get them out of here, and a journalist that were there documenting it, who made it known time after time, multiple times during that broadcast, he was not a part of this group. He was just simply here to record it. He let it known in the moment. Now, Don Lemon was released with no bail whatsoever. He was just relieved on his own recognizance. And here's what Don Lemon has to say about his arrest.
I want to thank everybody for their support. It truly means the world to me. I have no idea what's going on because obviously I haven't seen anything. I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again, I will not stop now. I will not stop ever. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for something that I've been doing for the last 30 years, and that is covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
They just made Don Lemon into a superstar, bro. Yo, this coming from somebody who necessarily was not the biggest fan of Don Lemon all my life. I met Don Lemon before. He was very gracious, very nice to me, very cordial, was, a good dude in person. So I got no problems with Don Lemon, but Don Lemon was not one of my favorites. But now, we have to rally behind Don Lemon, man. We got to make it clear. This is not okay, bro. And if you're somebody who's okay with this, then, if you're okay with this, then I don't know what's going to wake you up, man. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, all right? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how the Desi Banks situation just got 1,000% worse. Somehow this influencer has been tied up into Mossad Google ads. It's a weird situation. Click on this video right here to find out what's going on with it. And if you like my content, please send a hype to this video. Hypes are how you push videos in the algorithm for small creators. Please send a hype, please send a hype, please send a hype. I'm going to see you guys in this Desi Banks video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.